What is... Ah, I said rummaging through my wallet again, right, cunt? Can't even Oh no. Oh no! There's nothing that people love more than controlling cards in a deck unconspicuously. There's nothing more than people love than the ability to control cards unconspicuously. So today I'm going to show you guys a version of a control here known as the spread call, and I'm going to break it down. PigCake's going to break this down harder than a recently divorced 50-year-old Vietnamese woman. I'm gonna break it down harder than that. So what a call is, for those of you that are mathematically retarded, a call is a way of controlling cards while you're spreading the deck. So pretty much you have let's say this is the card. That card gets lost somewhere in the middle supposedly, but is controlled to the bottom. That's what a call is. So let's say we have here the 5 of clubs. That card gets squared up and controlled to the bottom. That's what a call is. So to break that down real quick for all you haters, so you're let's say that's the card, 2 of diamonds right here. That card gets squared up loosely with the card directly above it. So it gets squared up loosely. The thumb puts pressure on top of that card as these fingers underneath pull that card to the right, and the deck spreads right underneath that card. So what that allows you to do is to get a card and control it to the bottom of the deck. Now, the problem with the spread call, when done in that way, is that it looks like a bowl of hot shit. It looks like you got a bowl and you put some hot shit in it, and you have a bowl of hot shit. So what are some things you could do to improve that and turn that from a hot turd into a polished Vietnamese child? What you do is that you do some stuff created by people that are way smarter than I am. So the first thing is known as the slider principle. Now don't unmonetize this video, because I know that sounds like something you would find in Ass Blasters 4 starting Asa Akira and Shane Diesel, but it's not. It's a magic move here. So what it is a move by a person called David Solomon. Look him up. What he does is that he calls a card before a card is touched. So let's say you want to control a card to the bottom of the deck. What you'll do is that as you're spreading the deck, you'll call any random card you want. So see, I'm calling this card right here. They touch a card. Let's say they touch this one right here. Now what happens is that, remember, this card is riding along as they touch a card. So let's say they touch this card right here. What's happening is that this card is riding along. Now for this particular move, you don't want the card that you've called to be on top of the card that they pick, because that would look a little bit suspicious when you turn to them. You want the card that they touch to be above the cold card. So you're going to show this to them. They're actually, even though there's a large discrepancy here, it usually flies. It flies among spectators because they touch a card here. Remember, their card goes above the cold card. You show this to them. Now, because of that card, it's going to allow you to easily slide that selected card without much effort. Had you been doing that without that slider card, it would be a lot harder. You need a lot of pressure with the thumb in order to hide that card, and it looks hot bowl of shit. So you call a card here, a random card. They touch any card. Let's say they touch this one right here. So you show this to them. Now, as your hand comes down, what's going to happen is that you're going to do the call action here of just moving the fingers and moving the fingers to the right here, so that when you use your fingers to remove this card, they think that happens to be their card, but really it's not. It's just a card that doesn't matter. It's like that kid in the park that touches himself. So remember, this card is going to get all the way to the bottom. They think this is their card, so you're in a perfect position here where they get squared up and you already have control over the card. So I'm going to drop some hot tamale South American slow motion for you guys here. there you go. Look at that. So that slider principle pretty much allows you to very easily do the spread call without any sort of excess movement from above. So that is a fantastic fat principle there. So another that's to use the call as a control. Now, if you want to use it under the context to control cards while you're looking through the deck, that's you could do the same thing. So let's say you want the aces. You're gonna have the spectator mix up the deck as best they can. Usually, if they can't do this, then what you're gonna do is that you're gonna spread the cards here under the guise of looking for the jokers. So this is a garbage card. We don't need that. But really, we're gonna be using the aces here. So the good thing is that if you're calling multiple cards, that first card becomes the slider for the rest of the cards. So let's say we want to remove the jokers here. Let me get some hot T6I action here. So let's say you want to remove the jokers here. I'm going to spread through the deck. I see the first ace here. I'm going to call that card, and now that becomes a slider card. So I could separate my hands fairly easily. I take out the first joker. This card is riding along the entire time. And as I'm spreading through the deck, I'm just looking for the other aces. Now, because of that slider card, it becomes a very easy thing to do. When I see that ace, I just slide it here. So I'm going through, I see a joker. Now, you want to spread through the rest of the deck to show them that there's no extra jokers, or to show yourself. Now, here we have a lucky situation because these two aces are together. You could just put your thumb here and call both of these cards in one little action. So that when you get to the back of the deck, you could remove the jokers, and guess what? You got the four aces there ready to blow some loads. So that's the call used as a control here for any number of cards. So that's that. Now this call could also be used as a fat force. So what I mean by that is that if you have a card called here, you could have them touch any card you want, and instead of them seeing their card, they see the card that you want to call. So let's say you want to force this card right here, which happens to be the ace of clubs. So that card gets called. They touch any card they want. Now, before, remember, the card they touched went above the force card here. Now, what you're doing is that you're making sure that that card is above the card that they touched. So they touch this card. Now, again, I allude to this in my other video, but I've seen this done before where, let me just go back here. This card is cold. They touch any card they want, and you're ready to do the action here. And you need to square up this half. I've seen it done by many other magicians in the following format. So are you happy with that card, sir? Okay, good. You got it? Memorize that card? Okay, good. It's a little bit of an obvious movement here. So you want to make it as natural as possible. So what I mean by that, there's the force card right here. That card gets cold as you're spreading through the deck. Now, let's say they touch that card. You're going to lift this up towards them and use this hand supposedly to make it more fair so they don't see. But what's happening is that you're just putting these cards against this half and using these fingers to square it up as you lift it up to them. So that becomes, it's not a jarring motion, it's a natural thing. You don't want to see the card. So you're going to just put a little bit of pressure, and that allows that card to become square and becomes the card that they apparently touched. So in one continuous action here, what happens is that you have that card cold as you're spreading through. They touch that card, you show it to them, and by the time you lift up your hands, they get forced. They don't know what's happening. They think that's a free selection, but really you are you're right on top of them. You're on top of them really, really hard. So there's one more subtlety to this. Now usually the card you want to call is going to be the fourth card from the top, because you could spread a couple cards, and it's not really a super hard thing to call that card in the back of the spread here. However, even that looks like a bowl of hot shit. So there's another subtlety here by Darwin Ortiz and his sexual mustache. What you do here is that you're going to spread the cards, and you're going to tell the spectators that you want them to touch any card they want here. So you see what I did? I spread these cards out. I eyeball the fourth card. I already square it up as I let go to gesture that they're going to touch any card. They're going to hold their finger out, and they're going to touch any card they want. So what this allows me to do is now as I regrip, I can do the calling action over here, have them touch a card, and there's less of a chance of having some sort of contrived calling movement here. So, or without that technique, it would look like this. it would look like that. And there's a little bit of a chance that they'll see something. But with that technique, you're breaking it down in steps, so it's less likely for them to notice. So with that technique, you're doing something like this. So I want you to touch any card you want, and then you're doing it that way, and the CULL becomes infinitely easier. So with that, that is a couple things on the CULL that could raise your game and get the spectators to they shouldn't really know about it. So that's kind of the they shouldn't really get too wet. But it should appear to be a very fair selection. So you have a control, you have a force, you have a way to separate the cards if you want. You practice that, and you show them that you have the biggest wiener in town. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. You practice it as well as you can. Do the things. There's a lot of stuff I'm shilling out on. Look at the stream from yesterday. It's a hot stream. There's a shirt, or a hoodie, maybe if you want. There's also the Patreon exclusive, and then there's the genital stuff. Well, enjoy, guys. I'm gonna go figure out ways to CULL my life into an order that is not one that is conducive to ending it. Again, when I see you 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 again.